Hi, this is Luann from Rockin' Book Reviews, and I'm so happy to be here today with Marneta Viegas. Marneta, tell us a little bit about who Marneta Viegas is, a little about your childhood and so forth.
Yeah, well, I have an interesting background in that my father is from Goa, so he's Portuguese Indian, and my mother is English, and so they met and they had me, and we lived in Iran for 4 years, and yeah, so and then I went to school and I did lots of performing arts, and slowly built my self-esteem from having very low self-esteem. That's where I started. So my childhood was very much imaginative play. My grandma had a farm, so we would spend all our holidays on the farm, in water, in nature, that sort of real Anne of Green Gables type holiday, living and just on the land, which was wonderful. And then we'd go back to the city for term times. So yeah, that's the beginning of my childhood. Yeah, that's where it all started. So lots of imagination, lots of creativity, storytelling, puppet making, getting all my cousins to perform and put on shows, and that's what we used to do. Yeah.
How fun. Did you always want to be a writer?
No, I didn't really set out to be a writer at all. I wasn't very academic at all. I was dyslexic as a child, but I didn't know that. I've only really found that out much later. And now I can see why I really struggled with the English language, with reading. I just couldn't read books. It was really hard work. Writing was hard. So I had to work incredibly hard to get my English. I did do my English, we call them O-levels, GCSEs here, but it was hard work. It was only much, much later that I decided, no, I didn't even decide to be a writer. I just had this idea one day of turning all the fairy stories into meditations. And so I wrote them all down on scraps of paper. My thing has always been fairy stories, so I would put on children's theatre for every year at Christmas. So I would choose a different fairy story and then put on with about 100 people, make all the costumes, and have all these children come to see this theatre show for a community project. And so I wanted to see if I could help children relax using fairy story meditations. 22 years ago, well, even 25 years ago, around when I first had the idea, there was no meditation for children. There wasn't mindfulness. It just wasn't a thing. And so I needed to find a way to make it really accessible for parents and children to feel that, oh, okay, this relaxation, this meditation is okay. It's not scary. It's not weird. It's not come from India or somewhere. So I took all the fairy stories and turned them into very simple meditations. So they would imagine they were in the first book, Aladdin's Magic Carpet. They would imagine they were Jack climbing the beanstalk and floating in the clouds, or they would imagine they were Sleeping Beauty lying on a bed of 100 mattresses or 10 mattresses, and they were relaxing into that soft bed. I was thinking of Princess and the Pea. All the fairy stories just get muddled up in my mind now. Yes, so so that's what the first book was. And I was just very lucky, really, just to a friend typed them up, and then I sent them off to a few publishers. I had rejections, but then my publisher took a punt. He really took a punt. And 22 years ago, I think it was very, very brave of him to do that. He saw something in the books. He said, this is 2 books. And so we did 2 books. And they've now become, I think, one of their bestsellers. Yeah, Relax Kids is their bestseller, which is amazing. Yeah, yeah.
That is really wonderful. Okay, so you have these relaxation books, and do you have children?
No, but they have been used definitely in over 1 million schools, way more now, yes, and children of all ages. And I think the way I write the book, I do it in a way that I don't feel it, oh, this is for little ones, this is for older ones, although we'll talk about it later. I have brought out a book for teenagers, but I feel that we all need these simple relaxations. And so even adults will come to me and say, oh, I would do that myself. And I've had parents come back and say, oh, my husband really likes the princess one, he really found that really relaxing. And so it doesn't matter, it's really across the board, it's for all families. But no, the answer to your question, I don't have children, but I know many families, and my own family, their children, they've used them. Amazing results. We've had children get to sleep, we've had children slowly build their self-esteem. Children start concentrating at school better because they're learning these tools and techniques. And managing anxiety would be the biggest thing. And as we know, this last couple of years, anxiety is through the roof. But having this steady relaxation, meditation really makes a difference.
Tell us, you had a really special thing happen at Buckingham Palace. Tell us.
Oh, yes. Well, so this is 1995. So a long time ago. Before I did Relax Kids, I was a children's entertainer, a clown, and I was invited to perform at Prince Charles's 50th birthday. I think that's right, 95. Yeah. I hope I've got my numbers right. Yes, but he was definitely 50. So I performed, and I went as a golden angel. You know, there's beautiful mime statues that stand still and they look like they're made of gold. You'll see them in Italy, Europe, London. And that was it was quite popular. It was becoming really popular at that time. So I thought, it's very, very new. I trained Marcel Marceau mime style. So I did a lot of that. And so I thought, I'm going to do this. And so I stood really, really still at the top of the stairs as all the guests came up the red carpet. It's all red carpet in the big staterooms, just the hallways, literally the size of my house, just the width of the hallways are the width or the length of my house. It's incredible, probably even more now I think about it. All very thick gold pictures, all very ornate. All the stars were there, the Queen was there, Prince Charles was there, and I had to go in the lineup with them. And yeah, it was great fun. One funny thing, because I was this golden angel, I had gold paint all over my body. My hair was sprayed all curly gold, and I had gold paint on my feet. And so I was walking. Once I had stood still, then I walked round the staterooms, and I looked behind me, and I had all these gold footprints behind me. Oh, no. So I still had wet shoes. So I have left my footprints in Buckingham Palace, and I've made my mark. And I also had a shower in Buckingham Palace, yes, because I had to clear all the gold.
Awesome. I can imagine what those showers must be like.
I don't know whether I should say this, but they were probably the worst showers I have ever seen. No, because it was in the servant quarters, the helpers quarters. They were the worst, the cheapest showers I've never showered in, because I was so excited. You know, you think, oh yeah, I could have gone home with gold, but I'm going to experience a shower at Buckingham Palace. But no, I should have stayed at home. Would have been better at home.
Oh, what a disappointment. You recently released the Imaginationarium. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, all the children that I worked with, they've been growing up with Relax Kids. And in fact, the first children I worked with are now in their early 30s. Amazing. And so I really felt I wanted to do something for the teenagers. And so I've kept this concept of taking them on an imaginary adventure, sort of. But I got the Imaginarium, I saw was like a thing in their head with lots of corridors, and there are lots of doors in our mind, and each door will lead to a different room. So they would walk down the corridor, and depending on what they needed, so say for example, if you have a problem, then you can go to the chamber of solutions, or if you're feeling anxious, you can go to the chamber of peace, etc. And there are 20 chambers, 25 chambers, and they can choose. In the opening of the book, there is a section where they can see the problem and they can see which chambers to choose. So that's really what it is. And the meditations, when you go into the chamber, they're really techno. So you get them imagining they are in this virtual world. So it's not like with the younger ones, it's fairy tales or sunsets or trees. It's quite techno. Yeah, they imagine they're sitting on a chair and they can right swipe thoughts and left swipe thoughts, which we know, they're used to doing. So what you want to keep, the good positive thoughts you want to keep, the negative thoughts that you don't need. You can move the chair around to get really comfortable. So yeah, that is very creative in a very techno way. And there was another book that I wrote that is also came out around the same time recently, is what's it called? I can't believe it. It'll come to me. Oh, The Dream Machine. The Dream Machine. Now, this is for children who are going towards teens. So I would say the 7 to 11-year-olds, but then again, little ones and older ones. Do you remember the adventure books when you were little, where you could turn to page 6 if you want to go to the cave, turn to page 38 if you want to go this way? And I have done a meditation like that. So they can just flip all the pages and everything will work. So they meet different characters, they get different gifts, and they can choose. So they're always in control, and the whole cycle will take 20 minutes. And if they want to go on the next round, they can do another 20 minutes. So that's a great one.
How you connect all that together.
Yeah, well, it's something I wanted to do for many years, and it took quite a while working it out. But once I had it, and I literally did get got a notebook, an empty notebook, and each page I worked through it that way. I didn't write on each page, but I just did the title of how things would go. So yes, that was another one that we've recently. Yeah, it's a good one. That's really good.
What next big projects do you have coming up?
In total, I think I've written 20 books, and the publisher has got, I sort of lose count how many are published. I think 13 are published, and the publisher is they've got the other 7 or 5 or something, I can't remember. And so we have some coming for little ones, for toddlers, really lovely meditations, very colourful and fun. We have also recently done a beautiful colouring book. There's more to it than just a standard colouring book. It's based on a lot of the meditations that I have done. So we've got new books in the pipeline. We've also got a programme for schools coming, and also my own personal because as you can probably tell, creativity is my first passion, and I run a creativity club which is called IgniteYourSparkClub.com, and each week I meet women and we just do art together and we talk about something. So there's a little bit of personal development, and people say it's really therapeutic, just doing art and chatting, and it gives you can ring fence 1 hour a week just to relax, and it's so good for the mental health. So I absolutely love that project. So yeah, I want to do more of that.
I love your other Relax Kid website. It's great.
Thank you. And we've just added today, we're always adding, we're always so creative. I have an amazing team, and then of course I've got all my coaches because I train coaches to run my classes. But we've got everyone's so creative, and we've just recently released a gallery so people can have a look at all our classes and see children doing this stuff in action all around the world, because it's different. We trained up coaches from 50 countries now, so it's and I haven't planned any of this. You asked me, did you want to be a writer? Did you want to be a businesswoman? Did I have a vision for this? The vision has come, but when I first started, it was all very much, I wanted to get the book out. I want to make some CDs, MP3s, and I just sort of followed my heart, I would say. I followed my heart. You'd understand that. Really wanted to make a difference and help lots of children. So that's how I've done it, really.
Well, I think it's fantastic. You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
If you were granted 3 wishes, what would they be?
Oh, excellent question. Well, in one of the meditations, Aladdin's Magic Carpet, I have the genie appear and has 3 wishes. And in that, there's 1 wish for yourself, 1 wish for someone else, and 1 wish for the world. So my wish for myself would be, apart from stopping eating cake, I swam in a friend's natural swimming pool recently, and it was amazing. It was just like, it was all natural, and the water was green and there was no chlorine, and one day I would just love a natural swimming pool. That would just be amazing. So that would be my wish for myself, and also to really experience deep peace and a feeling of deep safety, because I think at the end of the day, all this external stuff, it means nothing. We just so want to feel still and safe. And then my wish for others would be, because I really struggled with my self-esteem when I was little, and I didn't really know what I was good at. I was good at performing, but I didn't know that. My wish is that every single child would know from an early-ish age what they are good at. Because I think we find out too late, in the 50s, before we go, oh, I see what I should be doing with my life. And I sort of feel that if we really felt good about ourselves from a young age, it would make such a big difference. And my wish for the world is that we could put an end to child sex trafficking, and sex trafficking.
People aren't aware of how bad that is.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's worse than slavery. It's worse than anything that's ever existed.
Absolutely. So sorry to bring the conversation down, but absolutely, that would be my wish for the world, because and everyone who's involved and covering up and all those things, just to, have their eyes opened and have a little bit of humanity. And those poor children. When I was at college, I went back to college and I wrote a play, this subject, because it was really happening in the UK, where teenagers, from 13, were being groomed by gangs. And I wrote this play, and I'm hoping, you asked me about my next project, I've got a friend who actually I went to school with when we were younger, and she's read my play recently, and she said, I think we can get this into schools. So that would just be to help educate young teenage girls. Of course it's boys as well, but just to know what is happening when they're being groomed, because they're so desperate for love. And we just, that's what I really hope. Yeah.
And I think there's nothing worse than loneliness and a lack of love.
Yeah.
I can relate to you. I had a very difficult childhood growing up. Although I had, wonderful parents, we moved away from where my cousins and everybody lived. We were in a place out in the boondocks and it was very lonely. Then my dad lost his job. We became very poor, and I really didn't realize how poor we were, but the bullying and the picking on, it was awful. So I think those are wonderful wishes.
Yes, I think they're good wishes.
Now we have a giveaway. Can you tell us about the giveaway?
Yes. Now, we've got a new, Relax Kids has a new series of MP3s, and they're in the Relax Me range. And there's a Calm Me, Comfort Me, Boost Me for self-esteem. And the giveaway is the lucky chosen person can choose whichever one from the 7, I think there are 7 different ones, and you can choose the one that you would like, and we will get that emailed to you so you can have that MP3. And I'm sure you'll have the link so people can have a look on the website and choose which one. But it's from the Me range with a big ME, and they're really lovely.
Even if they don't win the giveaway, to go onto the website, because they are wonderful. They're very intriguing.
Absolutely. And there's also, if anyone's interested, we do online training, and you can just have a look at we've got a lovely magazine, Shine magazine. So there's lots on the website, so you can just have a little look when you've got some time.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. I was browsing it and I thought, wow, this is neat.
Thank you.
It has been so wonderful visiting with you. And is there any final comments you'd like to make before we close?
No, I think I've just been thinking about this thing about safety and stillness. It's something that I've been thinking about this week, and I just, I really hope that we can all find that because in these times that are so unsafe, whether in whatever way, we're not in a war zone, but there is a real instability in the world at the moment, and I really hope that we can find just that little moment of security that will only come from that inner security. And I guess that's why I do this for children, because and I remember that I'll just finish on this. There's one of the meditations I do is the 3 little pigs. And one day this little boy, he didn't want to come out of the little pig's home, so that he was imagining he was safe in the little pig's home. And because his life was so tough, but in his own little space, he had that safety. And I think that's what I want for everybody, for me and for you and for every child and for every parent. That's what I want.
That's wonderful. Again, it's been a joy, and I hope we meet again.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I love that our purple goes with the orange. Really lovely combo.
Okay, and we hope that all of you will search the universe through books. Goodbye now.